Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Miss Valley Entertainment News. My name is Dread. We're going to cover a video here by General Rubicon. General Rubicon, sir. I like this guy. Called, that's why we're subscribed. Called Sweet Baby Inc. is only the beginning. And I haven't really had a chance to talk about Sweet Baby Inc. at all. I think what they do is absolutely fucking what is the word? I don't know. Irreprehensible? Reprehensible. I think it's reprehensible. And I think they're irredeemable. I think this is a terrible fucking group who destroys everything they touch and is become like a military authority. They walk in and they're like, you're going to do what we say about your game, or we're going to get a bunch of bots on the internet up in arms and trash your company. So they go, okay, and then they go and they like uglify their characters and take away anything funny or good and make sure there's no white males in the game and just all kinds of fucking bullshit like that. And then they put the games and they wonder why everybody hates them. So that's just me. So to me, everything I've heard about Sweet Baby Inc. and everything I've heard about them, and there has been a lot while I've been kind of doing my own thing. I have been paying attention to this, been listening and reading and discovering. And as far as I'm concerned, yeah, they're a bunch of fucking racists, and they're terrible fucking people. And the fact that they're pushing their agenda on our games makes me quite fucking upset. They don't deserve to have any voice except for the one that, you know, they can talk to themselves and hear with their own ears. That's it. Seriously think they're racist, sexist, and every other is you could think of. And it seems to me oftentimes, I don't want to say all the time, but oftentimes when people will shout and point fingers at everybody else and say, you're racist, you're wrong, you're this, you're that, it's because the person saying that is like that. And they view everybody else as just having to be the same as them. Everybody else must have those same faults. And yeah, I mean, if you're of the opinion that targeting white males is okay because all white males are bad, well, duh, then you're racist and sexist. Like, duh. Oh no, it's okay because it's white males. It doesn't count. Yeah, no, that's a bullshit answer. That's a bullshit answer. Fuck you, Sweet Baby Inc. Fuck you. Those are my honest opinions, people. Sorry. But let's get into what Jenna Rubicon's got to say, because I haven't listened to this yet. I don't know what he's gonna say, man. I don't know. Let's find out. I'll try to take a chill pill. Probably won't work. It's probably make me angry. Probably means I won't cover this shit very much.
So even though I'm dressed for a party, today's topic is going to be the complete opposite of a party. As you guys know, I'm an avid enjoyer of video games. However, one of the number one things that will immediately turn me off of any form of media is whenever political ideologies are pushed into media for almost no reason.
Here.
So recently there's been a lot of public discourse about a company that not a lot of people knew of maybe a month ago. It's called Sweet Baby Inc. Asmongold's made about...
You guys don't know what's going on with Sweet Baby Inc. You're not paying attention. Go type Sweet Baby Inc. into YouTube. Go type Sweet Baby Inc. probably into Steam. Go type it into your Google search. Go read a couple articles. Go watch a couple of videos. You'll find out very, very quickly what's going on. Every game they get hired as some kind of authoritative administrator over to make it more woke. They fucking destroy the game. They go in there and they absolutely tell them, no, you got to change this character into this kind of character. No, this character can't be like that. Hey, I know you got a game about Abraham Lincoln, but we need to make him a black female. You know, your game needs to have at least 10 more Puerto Ricans. Like it goes beyond madness. It goes beyond madness into people with mental illness now being put in charge of games. Okay, that's what this fucking shit is.
Probably 10 videos so far of him reacting to different creators talking about Sweet Baby Inc. So for all of you guys that don't know, I'm going to try and give you a bit of a rundown over what Sweet Baby Inc. is.
Oh, God.
So basically, these video game companies are trying to get investments and also loans from companies like BlackRock which pushed something called an ESG score. So for those of you who don't know, ESG stands for Environmental, Social, and Governance Score. And basically it monitors how, politically leaning your product is that you're pushing out to your audience. And depending on your score, it depends on the amount of investment they will give you. So video game companies are chomping at the bit to get that ESG score as high as they possibly can, so that they can then go and get a bigger investment or a loan. So of course, with the rise of ESG scores come companies like Sweet Baby Inc. that are a consultation firm that video game companies will hire in order to handle, narrative issues and things such as that. And I believe what they do is they kind of perform as like a guide, and sometimes they just completely write entire projects, but they perform as a guide to help increase diversity, equity, and inclusion in video games and kind of get the numbers up for those companies so that their ESG score can improve. So personally, I don't see anything wrong with diversity in video games, and in fact, I encourage it. However, these companies like Sweet Baby Inc. are actively making video games worse. Just for a little context, they had a big part in creating the recent Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League game.
Also Starfield. Shock! I know. They had a big hand in Starfield.
Which we all know is probably going to win Game of the Year this year. You know what I mean? So there is the problem of, companies like Sweet Baby Inc. trying to insert woke ideologies into video games. But on the other hand, it also makes all of these other companies, these video game studios, look like massive hypocrites, and hiring companies like Sweet Baby Inc. makes them look like complete morons. Because from the way I'm looking at it, if inclusivity is your goal, shouldn't you be able to do that without an outside consulting firm?
And interestingly enough, this all kind of blew up because somebody started a Steam page where they wanted just to make a list of all the games Sweet Baby Inc. was hired to work on. And they did. They made a list of all of them. And it was just out there for information. Of course, people jumped in there and got into discussions. And some of the discussions, of course, were volatile, negative, and everything else, right? But the guy who had the page just wanted to create a list so you could go there and know this is what Sweet Baby Inc. worked on. And Sweet Baby Inc. didn't want that list out there. They didn't want people to know what games they had consulted on. They didn't want people to be able to go find a list of what they had consulted on and then be able to make their consumer choices based on that list. They didn't want that. They wanted to remain in the shadows and hidden and just get paid to do good work, which equals bad games. And apparently, the people behind Sweet Baby Inc. started making videos and coming online and saying terrible, racist, hateful things. Tried to get this person not only banned off of Steam, but basically banned off the internet, banned off of all social media. All they did was put out a list of the games Sweet Baby Inc. had worked on. They attacked him like fucking Nazis attacking a Jew. Okay, I won't. Maybe that's a little harsh. I do apologize. But the reaction that they gave to him for making this list on Steam was so over the fucking top. It's clear they have something to hide. We still don't really know what it is, because exploring this company is next to impossible. They're like a fucking ghost. But that's what brought all of this stuff out. Somebody did the work, discovered this consulting firm, started piecing together what games they had worked on, and decided to make a list so that people who didn't like the games they worked on could be aware what games they worked on in the future and maybe avoid them. That's what happened. And it's turned into a thing.
And on top of that, it's the epitome of laziness to just say, oh, we need to increase our wokeness score. Let's have Sweet Baby Inc. handle it, guys. We'll just do what we got to do. We'll focus on the narrative of the game, and they can add some, pride flags. They can add some female, girl bosses and things like that. They can handle that on the back end. We'll focus on what we actually care about. Do you see what I'm getting at here? And on top of that, some of the employees for Sweet Baby Inc. have been going absolutely wacky wild on Twitter, just tweeting the most outlandish.
Look at this. This is someone who actually works for Sweet Baby Inc. Hi, you can't be racist against white people. Thanks for tuning in. Here it is, according to the Oxford Dictionary. racism is not limited to marginalized or minority races and ethnic groups. It is simply the unfair treatment of people who belong to a different or specific race, which can in fact include white people. Like, of course, that's not to you and me. That's duh. We understand what racism actually is. Some people. I want to be careful. I think some people out there have something wrong with their brain where they can't understand these things. They just can't. They can't understand a basic definition. They'll be like, no, that's not right. And they'll just shout louder about how bad white people are or whatever. Like, it's just, they can't get it. They're broken. And to allow these broken, in my opinion, mentally ill people to come in and make changes to your game before it releases. Again, the gaming industry is so sad right now. So fucking sad.
And horrendous things that you could possibly imagine, especially for a company that's supposed to be all about inclusion and diversity. I mean, it's just it's very strange to see a company like this and their top brass constantly tweeting things such as the tweet that I'm showing right now. But anyways, that's not the entire point of this video. I was just trying to add a little bit of context so that way the people who maybe don't know about the situation going on right now are able to, you know, have a kind of a semi-full picture as to what I'm about to get into next.
So, by the way, you can't see it because my my big fat body's in the way, but on my Steam list over here, on my list of videos that are, you know, whatever you want to call it, right down the bottom, it's a video by Clownfish TV. Whether or not you like them or not, I don't care. And it's called Sweet Baby Inc. Gets Blacklisted by Steam Users. Yeah, that's the whole point. That's what the Sweet Baby Inc. was afraid of. They were afraid that people were going to be able to call them out, that people were going to be able to blacklist them, that they were going to maybe lose power. I think they're probably just going to double down on the power they've got. I don't think they're smart enough to actually pull out of the game and go do something else. But yeah, and people, this is what people want. People want the ability to know who's doing what and to make decisions based on it. That's just good consumerism. Making your own choice by having the information you want to have. And if you like some of the games that Sweet Baby Inc. is involved in, that's fine. I mean, look, as much as I complain about wokeness in games, and I do at times, you know, I can point to Cyberpunk 2077 having some of that in there that I see, and I still love the game. Baldur's Gate 3 has even more of it. I still love the game. There are games that have that because the game is just so good and it doesn't take over the game, I don't care. I'm not out there protesting and saying, oh, Baldur's Gate 3 is such an awesome game. If only they removed these woke aspects from it, it would be even better. Nah, I don't care. I don't care. The game was so good it didn't bother me, and it was such a small part of the game. But a company like Sweet Baby Inc. would probably want to go in there and make that portion even larger. Push it right out front. Every character having a, you know, pride flag tattooed on their forehead or something stupid like this. And continue to talk about how bad white people are, right? All the characters saying things like that. That's the kind of crap they probably really want. It's just fucked up. It's just fucked up. I'm sorry, I'm kind of potty mouthed today. It's my second video I'm recording and getting both depressed and angry over the state of gaming right now. And maybe this is why I need to take a step back for the last week or two and not do a lot of videos, because I haven't seen a lot of great news come out. I've just seen a lot of negative news. And, you know, I've been striving to be more positive, but I got to cover everything that's out there when I'm covering stuff. So let's keep going.
So every single time that some kind of, you know, woke stuff happens in video games, people tend to pull the Sweet Baby Inc. card and go straight to them. Well, my friends, I am here with a heavy heart to tell you that Sweet Baby Inc. may not always be the culprit. There are several other companies that are constantly perpetuating this woke ideology into video games. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to be selecting a few other companies that...
Cool. By the way, well, thank you all for tuning in, by the way. I do appreciate your views so much. And I've got some loyal viewers here. If you're one of them, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you're not, you just stop by the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. I do entertainment news. We talk about gaming a lot, but I also talk a little bit about television, movies, and other entertainment stuff, music. We hit on a lot of different things. And yeah, I just try to give my opinion and then get out of the way and allow people to give theirs, as long as you're, being kind in the comments to each other and not attacking each other, ripping each other apart or whatever, then we're all good. It's a happy little community here. I like to think of Miss Valley Entertainment News, and I really enjoy doing what I do. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you all for sticking with me. And let's get back into it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.
That I have heard of and that I have researched and found information on. And I'm going to be kind of exposing them to you guys as well. So that way you guys maybe have a clearer picture of who exactly is influencing the video games that you are now paying $70 for. So the first one we're going to be looking at is Gamer X.
That's paid $100 for Dragon's Dogma 2.
And they pretty much have the exact same thing as Sweet Baby Inc. as their mission statement, or forgive me, vision statement here. Representation in media matters. The more LGBTQ plus content there is, the more normalized the experience of being bisexual, lesbian, asexual, transgender, gay, queer, pansexual, intersex, questioning, and or non-binary becomes.
Okay. I'm trying to be not poking my finger at anybody who falls into LGBTQ plus. Trying not to be cruel to anyone, or who is bisexual, lesbian, asexual, transgender, gay, queer, pansexual, intersex. Never even heard of that one. Questioning, and or non-binary. But it sounds like what was just read and what I'm reading here, read out loud, and what I'm reading, is that they want to normalize this in society. They want to make this normal by putting more of them in media. Okay, does that, to me, that is an ideology. Oh God, I can't even say that word. What we're trying to do here, from what I'm reading, what I'm gathering in my mind, is in order to make this something that is normal to all of society, we want to push this into your entertainment and make it more and more and more and more in your face, so you can't avoid it, so you just get used to it. Does anyone else have a problem with that? This is a game. Games are supposed to be fun. Games are supposed to be a way to get away from reality, not to form reality. Am I wrong? But I think games trying to form reality and change your reality is not a good thing in any way.
Gamer X was founded in 2012 with the goal of getting more LGBTQ individuals into the industry and a desire to boost the profile of the game developers already making queer content. The idea was simple: gaming is for everyone. So this one seems to be like a diet version of Sweet Baby Inc. They don't get as intrusive, and their Twitters are not crazy. They probably police their Twitters, and a couple of their directors and their more diversity, equity, inclusion consultants, a lot of them have completely scrubbed their entire internet presence almost. So their Twitters are just completely deleted. Recently. I assume that happened once people started looking into these companies and their members' Twitter accounts. So these are their client lists right here. They have Niantic, Behavior, Dead by Daylight, and Volition. So you can totally expect that every single one of those companies have been influenced in some way by this kind of company. So next up, we have a private consulting firm that works with a lot of indie developers. And I was able to find some of their tweets of some of their members. A lot of people have scrubbed their Twitters, and a lot of them have also deleted their accounts, which is not
interesting that they're trying to hide things they said in the past, though, isn't it? That usually tells you something. I'll leave what it tells you up for you to decide. I'm not going to tell you, but
not a surprise, seeing as Sweet Baby Inc. got caught doing a lot of crazy stuff on Twitter. So I imagine that's going to be a common trend throughout this video, is their deletion of their Twitter accounts. So this is a tweet made by the co-founder and creative director of Silverstring Media here. TERF isn't a slur. It's the acronym for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminists, which is actually a lot nicer than other things TERF should be called. There is nothing radical or feminist about being a hateful bigot. The reason they would rather be called gender critical is so they can frame trans people's existence as something that can be debated.
I got no idea what they're talking about.
Call your local TERF a TERF today. I don't know. It just seems quite funny to me that somebody who's pushing for, diversity, equity, and inclusion in video games is openly calling for the harassment of certain people online.
I got no idea what any of those terms mean or what they're freaking talking about. Honestly. Let's just come up with more nonsense words. They're gonna say blah, 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 and that's gonna mean something. Okay, for now on, that means something. I don't get it.
It's just it's a little strange to me. I don't know if you guys can make sense of it. But anyway, their mission statement is pretty much the same as Sweet Baby Inc.'s and the last company we looked at, so I don't really feel the need to go into that very much. It's more of the same, another company that does consulting for diversity, equity, and inclusion reasons. It's the next one we're going to be talking about is Anita Sarkeesian. She does private consulting for video game companies, and her clients include Ubisoft, Megacrit, Devolver Digital, Double Fine, Landfall, and Triband. So from what I can understand, she was a big member of the Gamergate controversy that happened a long time ago. And on top of that, she posts things like this on Twitter. And she seeks victimization for people who are, harassed and on.
What? Got that off too quickly. I couldn't see it. We must truly reckon with the conditions that allow this kind of abuse to proliferate. What every single one of us contributes to maintaining these conditions in our workplaces, communities, events, etc. How do we build a game industry we can all be proud to be part of? Okay? I have no idea what that's about.
People who are, harassed in online video game lobbies, which I think is just the absolute funniest thing ever. I mean, imagine being so offended by somebody in a video game lobby that you happen to have to go to Anita Sarkeesian to try and get some kind of help.
The funny thing is, it's not just people who are LGBTQ, whatever, who are getting harassed online. If you're online at all, you're getting harassed by somebody, by everybody, by anybody. It's happening constantly. Constantly. The internet is a terrible fucking place. It really is. You get out there, you're on there, and you will get called names. People tell you to kill yourself. I mean, people threaten you. People try to cancel you. People try to get you fired from your job. People try to steal your identity. People try to, it's a fucking terrible place, the internet. You cannot escape that shit, unfortunately, when you're online. You can't. And if somebody is, bisexual or queer or pansexual or whatever all those other things were, and you're getting harassed by somebody in a video game lobby, so what? While you're waiting to, does that mean like while you're waiting to jump into the game and you're talking to other players? Like, I don't really understand what the lobby means. But whatever, talking to other gamers and they're harassing you. Well, it sucks, but it happens not just to you. And if you're thinking I'm getting harassed because I've got the word gay in my username, or I don't know, something, well, it's going to be a trigger and an attention getter that these people out there who like to jump on people and harass them are going to jump on you and harass you for it. But if that weren't there, they're still going to find some way to get under your skin anyways. So yeah, the fact that they have somebody to go to represent them and help them, okay. What about, where's that for the rest of us? Apparently that when I get harassed for being a white male, an old white male, apparently that's all okay, and okay. So there's no help for me anywhere. It's just okay to do that because I'm bad because I'm old and I'm white and I'm male. Never mind the fact that I can't actually choose any of those things. I don't know, man. The people's reactions to things don't really make sense to me. They really don't.
Or you have to call some kind of games and online harassment hotline. It's just so wild that this kind of thing actually exists. But anyway, yeah,
People are babies
Anita
nowadays.
Sarkeesian also does, consulting for a bunch of video game companies that
People are absolute mental and emotional babies now. Most of the people who are becoming adults or have become adults in the last little while, there's a great percentage of them, and I don't mean like 80%, but I mean there's a fairly large percentage of them who are emotionally like 3 fucking years old. And they're not getting better. They're not getting better. It's scary.
I already provided here. So that's the last one I'm going to cover, but I promise you for every one that I left out, there's about 5 more. I couldn't include all of them or else this video would be about 2 hours long.
Jeez.
But I figured at the very end of the video is the right time to talk about the actual problem, because these DEI consulting companies are symptoms of a greater problem. And that is the fact that DEI and all these inclusion scores have gotten so bad to the point where companies almost have no other choice but to hire these types of agencies. And on top of that, it's also the companies that are giving out loans based on these arbitrary scores, because if they really do care about it and they wanted to make good diversity in video games, it would turn out way better. I can think of a couple of examples right off the top of my head where diversity in video games actually truly worked. Right off the top of my head, if you want a great example of diversity done right in video games, look at Lee from the Telltale Walking Dead series or Sergeant Johnson from the Halo series. I mean, both were strong minority characters that didn't have to have the spotlight on them that they were minority characters. In the games, they were treated as regular people, which should be what everyone is looking for anyway. Because if I'm being honest with you, I actually do like seeing minority characters that are done well in video games. It's great to see. Sure. Another good example is Will in Baldur's Gate 3, and then you have, the strong females that are done well with Lae'zel and Karlach. So the main question that has to be asked as a result of all this to all the major video game companies that are, participating in this kind of thing is, do you actually care about minority representation and inclusiveness in your video games, or are you doing it to increase an arbitrary score in order to receive more funding? That is the main question, and I think we all know the answer to that. Anyway, you guys, I really appreciate you watching this video.
The money.
If you did, this is a way different type of video than I normally do, and I
thank you, Jenna Rubicon. Appreciate your thoughts on this and allowing me to get my thoughts out, everybody. That's my thoughts on other companies like Sweet Baby Inc. and kind of what's going on. So jump into the comments and let me know what you think. Remember to try to keep things tame and a little bit respectful would be good, because we all want to get along here, and I don't want to have to police my comments. I mean, I have to a little bit anyways, but for the most part, we've been pretty good lately. So let's try to keep it that way. And if you think I'm out of line in what I'm saying on my videos, by all means, call me out on that. Do so nicely, kindly, not screaming at me, but for sure. And I will certainly take it into consideration and or have a discussion with you about it. So that's what we do here. We discuss things. So from I was going to say from Sweet Baby News. No. Whoa. From Miss Valley Entertainment News. My name is Dred. Good night.